again one more time. Happy Sunday, everybody. Um, Anyone coming to the stream or checking the VOD out afterwards, just want to say you're greatly appreciated here. It's good to have you here, even for a little bit of time. You come in for 5 minutes, come in for 10 minutes. It's all good. Every little bit helps, and it's good to see any which. I know we can't do anything here, Vaughn. I'm so sorry. Just a second, everyone, while I get my my stuff set up. Get all the stuff in that I want to do now that I've started the stream. And I would say, all in all, I've had a pretty good week. I don't know about you, personally. I had two big videos launched this week. Big for me, which is fun. It's fun to see the number trickle into the triple digits on views. I'm not holding myself to that standard, but it's very, it's nice to see. Last time we were here, we left at the very, sorry, absolute end of Act 1. So the last possible second before we have to jump into the craziness of Act 2. If you're not familiar with this game, this is Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance, the original. Came out in, I think I found out, 2001? 2002 for the PlayStation 2, Xbox, and then just very recently, 2023, I believe, they came out with, not a remaster, but a remake, a port. Didn't change anything from the original. I think this is just a great game. I think what it gives you is a wonderful experience. And here we got our little buddy, Xanthem, I believe. Xanthem. He was the final boss of Act 1. But we're not worried about Act 1 anymore. We're continuing the adventure. We went from being a guy who just wanted to get his money back that he got robbed from to now being involved in a greater, solving a greater conspiracy going about the world. And this is the Forgotten Realm setting of Dungeons and Dragons. If you're not, big 2, big number 2. We've truly made it. Yeah, so this is Act 2. It's nice to start off with a safe spot. As far as getting to an actual town, it's gonna be a little bit, not a lot of bit, but we'll have a wait ahead of us. And not unexpected to immediately level up. No, I forgot, that's what it was. I was trying to remember what our block button was. It's been a week since I've played. I've not been maxing in Baldur's Gate Alliance, Dark Alliance since the last time I've been here. I've not been secretly just grinding away. Although I'd like to think I'm decent enough at this game that I wouldn't need that anyway. But I guess we're gonna find out how wrecked I get. I'll level up. Wait a second. Now I'm in favor of increasing the defense, but I actually want to go. I think I want to go for another speed increase. It's going to be handy because we bought the best possible weapon from the first act with this. Two-hander sword. So we can just start carving away at these guys. It's a good time. No, I've had a pretty good week. This is the week, if you're watching this in hindsight, on a VOD later. I just released the first Oblivion Remastered retrospective that came out on Wednesday at midnight. And I gotta say, that was a lot of fun to make. If you haven't seen it, or you were hesitant to see it because you weren't sure what kind of content it was, I'll let you guys know here. I'll break the kayfabe a little bit, like the wrestling rule of keeping the mask on, and So the video is a satire. I mean, it's complete. It's a meme video. It's just a joke video. Doesn't mean it's not worth watching, because I'd like to say it's entertaining, but I think it's important to go into that with that lens. And I mean, some of it is based off my actual opinion of the game, but it really, I'm just trying to recreate like a, without naming names or trying to make fun of specific people, just the sort of overly cerebral, descriptive reviewing that some like video essay people or gaming journalists do when they talk about video games. Like, they just seem to go way in on being overly poetic and thoughtful or philosophical about a video game experience. Obviously, I'm a big fan of video games. I do think that they're art. I think that the experience video games can give you, that interactivity, I think it's unparalleled in kind of art media. But it's still funny to make fun of people. I don't want to say it that way. It's still funny to approach a video game as if it's like your entire lifeblood. Like, it's the only thing you get up in the morning, you eat food, and then you go play this life-changing masterpiece. I don't know. I also thought the joke was really funny, and the reason that I wanted to release it so soon, as soon as I could, was the retrospective angle of the joke. I just kept thinking of how funny it would be to, I even thought of it on the first day, actually, that the Oblivion Remaster came out. How funny it would be to think that, like, by the end of the year, some guy was going to make a retrospective about it, like, looking back on Oblivion Remastered, it's been so long since the game came out, you know. Gotta try to jog my memory. What's that video game all about? And sure enough, again, without naming names or making fun of specific people, I go on the Elder Scrolls and Oblivion subreddits a little. I'm a Reddit lurker. I'm not a Reddit contributor by any means. And it was funny to see that some people were already saying, like, as early as like Thursday last week, that they're like, yeah, the Oblivion Remaster was pretty good. Like, in hindsight, like, I think I could say it was a decent game. As if it had come out like 2 years ago and not 3 days ago. As soon as I saw people joking about it like that, I said, okay, I think I actually really have to make this video, because it's people are clearly just thinking like this already. That was the whole idea. I think I'm starting to realize that the joke in my head about the video probably doesn't actually land or translate to make any sense of it. But I like to think at least that the as someone commented, and I think this is a very fair comment, I think they're totally right. The self-flagellating word salad of the video, I'd like to think that, I don't know, I've got some decent jokes in there, I've got some fun gameplay. I think it's a video that's well worth a watch. It's only an hour, which, if you're a video essay enjoyer such as myself, an hour is a pretty minimal investment in a long-form content video. So, just some thoughts on that. And obviously, if anyone comes in and chat with questions, or anyone has questions later on the VOD, you can post on the VOD. Questions about making that video, or just what was I even thinking, or why did I think this would be funny, or that joke would land, or why did I say this. Feel free. I'm a pretty open book. It was just a fun video to make. I had a lot of good time just cracking myself up making it. So I'd say, you know, I welcome all questions and criticism about the video. Even though it is a joke video, you still have a right to criticize me for it if you think it was unnecessary, or some of the jokes didn't land or make sense, or whatever you want to say about the video. I'm happy to hear it. All in any of it. Doesn't make a bit of difference to me. Just happy to hear people talking about it. I'm happy to see so many people enjoying the remaster. I know I'm not talking about this game at all. I'm not talking about Dark Alliance at all right now. But as you can see, sorry about that. As you can see, the first part of Act 2 here is it's actually pretty cool. You're just kind of mowing your way down a mountain instead of the I'd say the typical climb up a mountain in order to get down to base camp. We're in the Sunset Mountains in the Forgotten Realms setting, and we're gonna run into some dwarf friends when we get down there. So this is the D&D world. So we do have our humans, elves, dwarves, our very classic. You know, and we're at the mine camp already. I actually really thought that was a longer trek to get to the mine camp. I'm so glad I held off versus doing it last week. I'm glad we can just start and get all of Act 2 just in one go, probably. I'm not sure how long it takes to get through Act 2, but we're going to find it together. It's been a little while since I played Act 2, admittedly. Or at least have a good enough memory of it, if that makes any sense. Act 1 is obviously very memorable to me. Act 3... there's our guy. Let's go take a little peek around the town first. Got a nice little dwarven mine base camp going on here. Oh, those woods are too thick and arduous. Arborous and arduous.
Who are you? Tell me what you've been doing here, or my hammer will be the one asking next.
Well, I'm a friend, I swear. I'm a really good guy. I'm part of the Harpers. Like the Power Rangers.
You don't have the look of the Dark Elves about you. My name be Torgir. Torgir of Brungor's clan. You've come at an ill time, traveler.
I'm now remembering the thread of Act 2, which is a lot around the Dark Elves, and remembering that they're not quite like Elder Scrolls Dark Elves.
That remains of our clan.
They are kind of just evil, mostly.
Back when a patrol of Dark Elves invaded our mines. Scores of us fell beneath their poison blades, and they knew when and how to strike us. We were forced to collapse all exit tunnels, save one, and regroup here on the surface. Now,
man, they really got thrown around.
Us remain. Turn back from here, traveler. The mines are closed and there's nothing for you here.
Now, to be fair, I'm not certain that this clan of dwarves is necessarily one of those, like, proud dwarven warrior races. I think these are just dudes mining, you know? They're not combat experts.
For your help, traveler.
They're just trying to make some dough.
But if you could help us drive those shadow-cloak demons back into the depths, we'd welcome the extra blade.
Yeah, I'm in for it. What can I say?
Back into the mines,
I'm here for some adventure.
the second of our troubles. Our leader Colgrim took the key for the mine entrance with him when he and 3 of our clan went to climb Burning Eye, that peak in the distance.
Burning Eye.
They seek to light the
That is one of our eventual destinations.
And summon our brothers from Easting. Trouble is, it's been near a day and a half, and I've seen no signal fire from the top of the peak.
Well, I got bad news, probably.
They may have been ambushed on the way there.
Yeah, bold prediction. They didn't make it.
We can expect no aid from the nearby towns. And without the key, we cannot even re-enter the mines to try and take it back from the drow. The gate to the mines was sealed with our key of Dumathon. No ordinary
Thankfully, they got a MacGuffin key,
Merely
so they
touching
can't
it
just
to our gate
sequence
causes
break
the
into the
cracks
mine.
and spaces of the gate to become solid stone. Not even a battering ram could break the gate now. It keeps us from entering, but at least it keeps the drow trapped in the mines. For now.
So at least we have a pretty obvious thread of Act 2, at least as far as we know. We gotta go find the searched... We gotta go be a search party for these guys, see if we can find them, or at least...
I wish you luck.
Get that fire going.
And may Carnage twin axes bury themselves in your enemies.
Then we'll go through that mine and see what happens. No sign of having to go through the woods just yet. So if I had to guess, I think we're going to have to go this way. I know the mine is somewhere in the, You know, I actually thought the mine was somewhere in the base camp here, that we just walk into it. At some point. Is there a trader here? It's a silly question. I think it's this guy. Brannock.
Never will you see such fine steel as you will in this shop.
Oh. He's got
Swords,
the best?
axes, hammers. We have more than enough weapons for everyone.
More than enough for everybody. That's
If you feel the need
always
to
good to
part
see.
with your gold, you've come to the right place, traveler.
always get a little disgruntled, you know, a little cooked when I see places that don't have
can I
enough,
help
you
you?
know, enough RPG equipment for everybody.
Are you looking for anything in particular?
No, I can't say I am, but thank you so much for asking me. Well, nothing we can look at right now, obviously. We've got a pretty good setup already. I did think the mines were over here. It could be this. Oh, it's that. I think it's that. That's the mine entrance, and we'll get through eventually. So why don't we just carve our way to the Burning Eye base, see if these guys are alive, or at least if we can finish what they started. I don't need to take it so carefully. I just do like the quick block mechanic that you got here. Very simple combat in this game. A lot of button mashing, but it's nice to have the option. Blocking is a lot easier with a shield. I do believe you can only block for a second. Yeah, that's as long as you can block right there without a shield. So you basically get like a parry window with just a weapon. It's neat. It's better than not having the option at all. Now you might be wondering why I haven't decided to go dual wield in this game, or you know, two one-handed weapons, and that's unfortunately the first game doesn't have that ability. You do have the character, obviously he's a classic Forgotten Realms character, Driss Duerden. He is in this game. You can play as him. You gotta unlock him though. I think I already did. And he's pretty fun to play as. He's kind of a mixed bag though, unfortunately, and that's because his equipment is so iconic that you can't actually change it out. So, although definitely to start with in a playthrough, his equipment is fantastic. But if you want to bear through extreme difficulty, which is the hardest difficulty in this game, you actually can hit quite a wall with his equipment, and you gotta hope that at least leveling him up is going to make up what is lacking in damage and damage dealing and damage receiving. So starts off as a good character to play as, and then it can get pretty tough near the end, because other characters have the ability to at least change out their equipment. It's also, frankly, very bold move in a dungeon looter game. You know, a game very heavily about getting new cool stuff and being able to change out your equipment so often. To have a character that can't do that, and is only kind of good in spite of it. But obviously, with someone like Drist, he's a very set character. I just don't think they wanted to mess with him too much and say, oh yeah, Drist would totally just leave his iconic two swords behind in order to pick up a mace, you know, or start using a bow. I don't think he does use a bow. Yeah, he's in this game. Like I said, I think I already have him unlocked. You unlock him after doing the gauntlet, which is a very tough challenge. It's when once you've beaten the game at least once, you have the ability to do this gauntlet mode, which is basically just clearing a dungeon, a completely different dungeon, one not in the base game, of all monsters within 15 minutes. And you have limited health and magic resources, and again, you've only got what Drist has as far as equipment and spells. It's a fairly tough challenge. It's pretty neat. It's a pretty interesting way of divvying out unlocks. Because really the two biggest unlocks in the whole game come from that, which is unlocking Drist as a fourth character, and getting the fourth final difficulty. Because that's just it as far as this game goes. There's not too much complex options. You get 4 characters, 3 to start with, and basically just can replay the game on higher difficulties if you want some replay of the game. Very classic Diablo-esque in that way, where the route to maxing out a character is just replaying the game over and over again. It's actually only very recently that action RPGs have sort of, like loot-based action RPGs have really shed that style of grinding. Path of Exile and Diablo 4, I would say, were pretty big on righting that wrong. As well as Borderlands, funny enough. Borderlands 3, after some patches, made the right step too. Okay, 1 playthrough, and then let's just get you in some randomly procedurally generated dungeons or some endgame content that doesn't require you just playing through the main campaign over and over again, because that's not nearly as fun as being able to do something really plus some real proper endgame that gets a little sweaty with it. I prefer my campaigns in ARPGs to be on the easier side. That way you can save the harder, challenging content for once you've actually beaten the game. Because I'd say by the end of a playthrough, most people have a good idea of how to get through the game and the more challenging parts. And it's not fair to stick people with too tough of an encounter just throughout the base game if it's going to get a lot tougher later. Here we got an ice cave. Pretty cool environments. Dark Alliance doesn't. It's a very short game especially in the realm of action RPGs, loot-based action RPGs. It's quite a short game, about 12 hours. But I think it does a very good job of changing. Gotta wait for the big boom. Shout out to Big Justice. Gotta show some respect to my man. Yeah, I think this game just does a very good job of shaking up the environment and the enemies pretty frequently. Again, with a 12-hour game, I don't think you'd expect this much variety these days. I don't know. I don't want to say these days as if games were just better back then and aren't as good now, but all that to say, if I played a 12-hour indie RPG these days, and there was like 12 enemies in 12 hours, and like 7 or 8 different sceneries, I think I'd be okay with that. I wouldn't harp on a game for that. So for a game to have like significantly more than that to offer through one playthrough, I think it's pretty impeccable. Probably around 30 or 40 different enemies. That's very respectable for a game of this smaller size. I think, I'm actually torn here. Well, I think I would just like more damage. I think that just makes the most sense at this point. In just a second, I will actually spend my points. I could do that. Right. Yeah, these guys are already putting a pretty good beating on me. I'm glad we got the best possible equipment we could to start Act 2 with, because I imagine it would be a little tougher if we didn't have some of the best equipment we could have right now. So let's get to our points. What I'd like to do a little bit more of... Well, I'm actually kind of torn. I think this is the best way to go. I want more crits and I want them to hurt more. We've got 2 more points, so I don't mind giving us more hit points. I'm in for that. It's not much. Yeah, it helps. It all helps. Oh. I was not paying attention. Oh, top of the line entertainer that I am. I was busy in my own head, I think. Oh, we got a nice head right here. Well, I'm running low on potions anyway. It might probably is a good idea to get back to town for a hot second. Grab a few more potions, so what we got. Now that I do like.
Never will you see such fine steel as you will in this shop.
Never ever, he says, and I hope he's right. I wouldn't want to make a liar out of him. That is a really
Swords,
convenient recall
axes,
point.
hammers. We have more than enough weapons for everyone.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We got some more potions.
If you feel the need to part with your gold, you've come to the right place,
We need a
traveler.
good spot to buy a better weapon yet. Oh, that's gotta be the move. I definitely want the Mithril Scimitar +2. It's really good speed,
How can I help you?
good damage.
Are you
+2.
looking for anything in particular?
It's a good win. 21, 27. Because what is our weapon at? 10 to 31. Yeah, so it's not more damage. It would be a lot better and more consistent damage, which is all the welcome in the beginning. And it'd let us grab a shield again. So I'm going to set that as my goal, as long as I don't get a good weapon before then. I want to find a decent shield and see if we can get some money to pick up that scimitar. The old Mithril Scimitar. Brings me back to the RuneScape days. I say the RuneScape days as if it was one set time in my life, but to be honest, this is one of the only times in my life that I'm not currently playing RuneScape. Let's say I've taken a break from RuneScape. Sorry, to focus on the finer things in life. You know, RuneScape's a fantastic game. If you've ever played it, I'm more specifically referring to old school RuneScape. But I can't say I really buy into the old school RuneScape 3 war that's going on, or always has been, of comparison. I'm a big fan of them both for different reasons. Frankly, in some ways, I like RuneScape 3 a lot more because it is a lot more AFK-able. It respects your time a little bit more. It kind of gets that. It's that. Like the joke I made in the retrospective video. It's a game that doesn't. You don't have to play it. I mean, you don't want to. You can just AFK. I love me doing some light AFKing and RuneScape 3, especially mining, dude. The new mining. I say new. It's a few years ago now, so they just reworked it. But that's some really satisfying AFK play in RuneScape. But yeah, sick reference to the Mithril Scimitar in this game. Definitely not actually a reference. It's funny that like both those games were going on at the same time, but like it feels like it could have been, but it definitely wasn't. I mean, obviously the idea of mithril equipment was far a thing beyond RuneScape. And RuneScape did their own little weird thing with it. We got in their ice cave. Oh, we got a friend. Who's this? It's Colgrim. He's alive.
Stay back.
Well,
I climb it into an axis.
he's had
I've
better
still enough
days.
strength to cut you. You've come too late for that. I'm nearly done. Thrice damned ogres. Too many of them for me and me band.
So, unfortunately, some ogres got him and his pals.
Don't have it. One of the others has it. We were attacked by a dragon atop the peak. An ice dragon. It froze the one holding the key in a block of ice.
Oh.
You'll need to light the signal fire to get to his body.
We've now reached the part in Dungeons and Dragons where there will be dragons.
Me band.
Well,
Each
at the
one
end.
of my men
At the
was
end of Act
carrying
2.
fuel and
Don't
tinder
get
for the
excited just yet.
watchtower.
It's gonna be.
Find them and get it from them.
It's gonna be
Take this
probably 2
flask
hours
from me.
before we get to
You'll
the
need it
dragon.
to fuel the
I
flames.
believe that's the Act 2 final boss.
Thank you, stranger. The hopes of me people rest on your shoulders.
I was gonna say glad he made it, but I remember now that yeah. Unfortunately, Colgrim doesn't make it. He just makes it the classic trope fashion. He makes it long enough to tell us what we need to do, and then he's off to the land of
This looks
I don't know. I don't know where he is actually. I realized I was thinking of Planescape Torment and how they have a lot of very colorful iterations of what the afterlife looks like in Dungeons and Dragons. So if that's the case, Colgrim could be anywhere. So I hope wherever our guy is, he's resting easy. And in an effort to be as thorough as I can, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go check out this side portion first. We're supposed to be going up the hill, the mountain, to light the signal fire. But I notice there's another area over here, and I forget if we need to hit this up now or later. I think it's just a side area. Pretty sure it's just a little side area with some more guys to whoop. Some more XP to get, more equipment. What's not to like? This is the good old meat and potatoes of the game, honestly. It seems really simple. It definitely is. It's probably, I hope, entertaining to watch. It's oddly very satisfying to play as a game. There's something about mashing that A button, or that X button in this case. It just doesn't really get old. Like I said, I've played this game on and off a ton of times since I was, what I would have been like 7 or 8 when this game came out. And it's an incredibly enjoyable game to play on your own, and with a friend or two. I believe the first game has co-op with 2 people. And the sequel goes up to 4. You can play with 4 people. I've never played with 4 people. I've only done 2. But I think it would be a lot of fun to play with 4 guys. Yeah, these guys, I'll tell you what. Some of these, that guy specifically, I think he's an ogre. They definitely fall in the borderline category of, yeah, they're definitely like kind of naked, but I don't know what to do about that. Technically okay. I'm not saying I need naughty bits, but got some butt cheek going on. Got some butt. We saw a little cheeking. I mentioned this in the last week. I think what I enjoy so thoroughly about this game is the mashing. The character I'm playing right now is technically the archer build. As you've seen with his stats, he starts out with pretty dang good stats with just slashing a big melee weapon around. And honestly, I don't know. Maybe it's just because you're playing by yourself and you're playing solo. But playing a bow in this game is not as fun when it's just you. It's a lot more fun when you're just kind of a part of a party, You're one guy adding to the damage with ranged combat. But when you're a one-man army in this game, it's a lot more satisfying to just carve away at the crowd, I wonder what these guys were up to before I showed up. Were they like having a party, or do they just like walking in circles around their favorite block of ice? You never know. Oh, I pressed the completely wrong button there. I got a little ahead of myself. That could have been It could have been treacherous. Thankfully, I'm sick with it. Got good reflexes. Got good battle IQ. Picked up that I was deleting the save. Saved the day. I gotta say, and I hope you agree. This game has pretty good diversity of monsters and environments. I mentioned that a little bit before, but we've certainly gone places since the beginning of Act 1 already. And we're going to go quite a few more places even before the end of Act 2 is out. This game does... I'll keep saying this because it's very true. This game just really does do a lot with a little. It's very admirable, the amount of content that this game had, the amount of variety it has. Then it's very compact budget, compact playtime. Fantastic game. This does feel a little bit like I am intruding. Just because feels like they were having a Christmas party, man, and I just totally ruined it by being a treacherous adventurer out here just trying to save the day. I wonder what the line is. I wonder if there's a court-martialing that happens within hero brigades in the D&D world. It was like, yeah, I get you were saving the world, man, but did you, like, really have to cut down, like, 7,000 ogres in the mountains? Like, they're actually kind of minding their own business until you showed up. But no, dude, I swear this is all, like, for the greater good of Baldur's Gate or whatever. Got 6 people on right now. That's pretty cool. Hey, everybody. Hope you're having a good Sunday. I feel like I want to go more, I'll beef myself up a bit, you know what I'm saying, guys? I'm gonna be a little more beefy. Yeah, if you're here for any sort of reason, you're here because Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance is a good game, or good looking game to you. If you're here because you like me for some reason, or if you're here because you saw the video this week, either video, feel free to say hi, feel free to make fun of me, feel free to chime in with anything you'd like. Just happy to have people on. Alright, now that they're all gone. Now that I got them with all the basic streamer chatter, you may hear, now I can't think of anything controversial to say. I guess we can go back to the court-martialing bit. Maybe it's all just clean slate, you know? Maybe they have a very utilitarian John Stuart Mill ethical method of saying, well, he saved the universe, so we're just going to call every war crime he committed in between that. We're just going to say it's a wash, you know? Who's to say every murder committed between here and then wasn't just some very necessary act of altruism to save humanity? We don't know that. I don't know the answer to that. Can't prove a thing. Oh, the poor spell sheet. Still looking mighty empty. Unfortunate to say, it might be a while before I pick up a spell. I just can't say I have a good spell that I'd want to grab that would be really useful right now. I might be hacking and slacking for a while. Old Butcher Pete style. Now what will be funny is when I find out in like 2 minutes that this wasn't an optional area and I actually do have to come through here later. But guys, that just means we just saved ourselves more time later if we did. Kind of a win-win to go this route. Yeah, we do a bit of a trek on the way back. we'll say while we're heavy into the hacking and slashing, this week, it's a pretty good week. Last night I just went out with some friends of mine, and we saw like an indie wrestling event. It was absolutely awesome. It was all the matches were between generally some food, or like an actual food, or like a kaiju, like a big old Japanese monster, you know. Call back to Godzilla, Mothra, Ultraman, that sort of business. So the whole stage of the wrestling match was like, they had like tiny buildings around that they were picking up and smashing each other with. Man, that was a lot of fun. I've never watched indie wrestling before, so I didn't know what to expect. And yeah, it is absolutely a hit. I'd say for me it was half like genuinely being entertained and half like ironically just going along with whatever ridiculous chant or nonsense was happening at the time. So we have another ice cave here. I guess we'll go in. Hey guys! They did a little dance for us. Can't believe we're about to put the mask over these poor guys. They were just doing a freaking TikTok dance for us. That's really embarrassing. I can't believe I acted so violently. These guys were just trying to entertain us. Well, you know. Oh, we got something cool.
This looks important.
Oh, you know what? I just saved us so much time. I say us. Yeah, us. We're in this together. It's a very classic, like old Let's Play style way to say it. Guys, it's us. We're playing this game today. We're beating Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance together. Well, that's great news. Turns out I actually definitely really did need to come all the way out here. That's awesome. Because I would have been very remiss. I see some people popping in and out. I see you guys. You don't gotta be shy. You can come say hi. I'm an amateur, man. I got banner unlocked, but I'm not gonna hurt you. Want to say hello? All right, now that they're gone. This is gonna be a great VOD to watch back later of me just sounding like I'm absolutely crazy. Like, Patrick, we know no one watched this stream, dude. You just made up in the VOD that there was like 7 people coming in, and you totally had them on the ropes conversationally, but they just wouldn't budge. I actually don't know if the VOD shows the chat that was going on during the stream, or if it shows. I know it probably wouldn't show how many viewers there were at a time. I guess I'll find out later. I'll watch this back later and see. Well, I'll get the answers together. Now I think I'm still going the right way. It makes me think that there's another item I need to get before I climb all the way back up there. Summit East? I say it's worth the venture. Like I said, if it is an optional area or somewhere we have to come back to later, then we've just saved ourselves the time. And it's a Sunday afternoon. We've all got time, hopefully. Hopefully you're not stained betwixt with responsibility on this good Sunday afternoon. Hopefully you're not crunched for time and sweating with choice paralysis and saying, well, I'll just watch Patrick play Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance instead of giving in my real responsibilities. But if you are, hey, do your thing. I'm pretty good at compartmentalizing the things I actually need to get done. I'm also really good at just throwing my hands up some days and saying, you know what? I'm not working today. I'm not going to work very hard today, if at all. I'm going to do something fun. And I'll get back on track the next day. Definitely an important thing to do, I would say. Especially if your study or your source of income isn't necessarily like something that's making your heart sore, you know? It's just about getting money on the table. Anthony, hey, welcome. Welcome to the Little Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance. Good to see you, man. How you doing today? Hope your Sunday's going well. Going behind that tree. Oh, there was. Oh, I'm so sorry. You thought you were gonna make it out of this alive. Get back to the wolves. That's a really unfortunate business for you, because I'm thorough, baby. Well, hey, I'm glad you came to say hi. I'm glad to hear your Sunday's going well too. My Sunday's been pretty good so far. Had a good week, all things considered. But yeah, good to see you check in. Really appreciate you. Appreciate you being here, watching, commenting on the vids too. It's just nice. It's always nice to see people enjoying the stuff you're making and having cool people to talk to about it, you know? So, I gotta say, thank you for being here, man. Should I put that? No, I already got 2 good rings. I'm good to go. I'm taking it back, man. They should probably actually put some clothes on. Well, actually, now I gotta go back. I gotta go back on it again. It's not my culture, man. I don't make the rules around here. I don't make the rules in the Sunset Mountains. I'm just a no-good imperialist. I'm a saboteur, interlocutor here to get up to no good in my some foreign territory. I shouldn't be going around telling people to put clothes on if that's not what they're used to. It sounds pretty bad out of context, but I just had 2 guys join when I said that. The bit was these guys need to put clothes on, and now I'm changing my mind. I'm going back on it. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I have the right to tell people to change their cultural rules when I'm not from their country. That's right, only the best banter here at youtube.com/Patrick. Yeah, you don't find this anywhere else, guys. Happy you're here. It seems like that was it. It's just a tiny little area. I'm gonna be really thorough here. If you watched last week's VOD, you noticed that I did make a little oopsie. I blew right past a very important item and for a side quest, and I ended up having to go back for it because I wasn't thorough enough. So while I'm here, I might as well check that I have gotten anything I needed. But I don't see anything. I think this actually really just is a side area. So I'm going to call it. I'm going to head back to the main fray of climbing up this dang old mountain. And maybe recalling. We'll sell our stuff and see if we can get that. I think we can get that mithril scimitar +2. It's gonna look sick, guys. I'm gonna be slicing and dicing to these poor citizens in style, at least. Look, between you and me, if you're gonna do anything really bad, you gotta at least look cool doing it. You know what I mean? It's terrible advice.
Never will you see such fine steel as you will in
commit
this
an
shop.
atrocity, at least be entertaining.
Swords, axes, hammers. We have more than enough weapons for everyone.
And my advice is night to day, from the videos to the streams.
If you feel the need
Videos
to part with
like,
your gold,
hey man,
you've
just,
come to the right place, traveler.
You know, wherever your life's at, just be you. And then in the stream, I'm like, commit war crimes, smoke a cigarette, you know, live life good. That'd be kind of nice. I don't need the extra point right now. I want to buy that freaking skimmy.
How can I help you?
That.
Are you looking for anything in particular?
Actually, that's a great question, man. And you're right, I am.
Never see such fine steel as you will in this shop.
Nowhere else. Guys, not sponsored, but go down to old Brannock's store near the mines here in the Sunset Mountains. You're getting the best equipment for a while.
Swords, axe.
Yeah, thanks, man. Let's get back to it. Let's have a little cut-in time. I actually quite like the look of the scimitar and shield in this game. Also, the fit we got on right now is pretty rockin'. The chainmail is the next upgrade, armor-wise. Armor is definitely the most scarce in this game. There's really only 6 or 7 different armor options that they palette swap if they're enchanted or enhanced. Whereas the weapons are a lot more varied. But I guess that was just a deferment issue. I guess it is a lot more resources to make armor for character models than it is just a weapon that swings in their hand. But the chainmail, this is the chainmail, this is the scale mail. The scale mail specifically is actually one of my favorite armor sets in the game. I just really like the look of it. You see the half plate armor? Way later, that is my favorite. It just looks nice and clean. But the scale mail we have now, I have to check again. And the chain mail, that's the next iteration. They're very similar model-wise. You're really only the green, yellow center of that changes. And we got these guys. And I'll tell you what. Look, I know I just murked that guy in 2 hits. But those things are menaces. I don't actually know what they're called. But yeah, you get 2 or 3 of those on you at once, and you're in for a really bad time, because they will just drain you of hit points. But they are very squishy, so it's easy to rip through one. But don't get caught. Don't get caught in between a few. You won't make it. So this is the climb up to the first mountain. We're here to light the signal fires. So we can start our next part of the trip, which I believe is going to the mine. It's a little close there, to be honest. And this is what I was talking about. This is what I was talking about and getting overwhelmed by these guys. They're pretty tough. Got him on the... I'm wondering what that was, even. I'm really curious. If we get them while they're going back, they don't hurt. No, they do. I don't know. I think we got lucky with that last guy. Those last 2 guys not hurting us. So I might just go and mash them. They get on pretty quick. Just gotta hope that... Are we out of potions? Uh-oh. You know, I hate to be a little baby, but realistically, I'm not getting through this without more potions. Right? Or are we at the end of the area already? Oh! That was impeccable timing, to be honest. But we made it through the area. Oh, I need the lighting torch. I knew it! I knew I didn't have something. Wow, that's really unfortunate. It has to be back in the east camp. And I just didn't see it. Alright. We're doing it. We're going back. I won't jump. I realize the jumping sound is probably much more annoying for you than it is for me. I will not jump. We're gonna be chill here. I don't even know if it's that much faster. You know, it's bunny hopping in games is just it's just a satisfying feeling. Soaring through the air, bobbing up and down. It's hard not to like. I think I mentioned this last time, but you ever played Gary's Mod, like RP servers? That's the most obnoxious thing was people moderating you bunny hopping. They're like, how it's not realistic enough, and you need to knock it off. Like I got beat up quite a bit in a few RP servers for bunny hopping too much. I'm doing it again instinctively while I talk about it. It's just fun, man. I want to play my fun little video game and jump around. You know, what's not to like? But I guess if you're going for an immersive viewing experience, you can't have that. You can't have that, unfortunately. All right, it's not a save, frankly, just to cut that time down. And I really think the torch has to be in this area. Because it really felt like there was an item here, and I just didn't see it. So let's be lucky this time. Or not lucky, just perceptive. That's what we're looking for. Let's be a lot more perceptive this time and just grab the dang old thing. Oh, 35 gold. Trip was worth it, guys. We're rolling in it. And again, keep track. The whole reason we started this journey in Baldur's Gate, the plot thread, is you get robbed at the beginning, and you're trying to win back all the money you earned that was stolen from you by the Thieves Guild. And again, it's my belief there's no way that it is this guy. Alright.
I found something.
You found something fun. Good job, buddy. Good job. Treating my main character like he's a 5-year-old. Yeah, I'm of the belief that we end up finishing this game with a exponential more amount of money than it could have possibly been stolen from a level 1 archer, unless he's like from a rich noble family and is just absolutely rolling in it. I'm buddy hopping again, instinctively. Some things you can't break, you know. There's some tricks you can't unteach in an old dog, so to say. Now that we actually have everything, we can get to getting on lighting that signal fire. Which makes me think that Act 2 really just is this. This has been about an hour. And then we go into the mines. I think that might be it. Like, obviously the mines is going to be a very trying experience. No, because we have to go through the woods to get something, too. Remember that? There's the woods in the north of the base camp. It seems very obviously blocked by a MacGuffin. Maybe Act 2 is just longer than I remember. Regardless, we're being Act 2 today, guys. We're gonna do the whole thing in one go. I don't see why not. 4 acts, so to speak, 4 weeks. 4 Sundays I'd like to spend playing this game. That's the goal. So that way the VODs will just be a nice, clear, thorough playthrough of the whole game. Yeah. You said it, Vaughn. Swing that thing. Definitely not an accidental button press on my part. I would never do that. I'm a professional. Even though I said like 15 minutes ago I was an amateur. I'm really just whatever I want to be in the moment, you know? It's all about adjusting your identity to benefit yourself in light of other people. Okay. Continually giving out bad advice. Don't trust me. This guy's getting unthawed. I hope that means he's alive. I hope that's what that means. I hope he was cartoon frozen. Well, what's it gonna be? Well, that's poor news. Uh-oh. So they're talking about an ice dragon earlier, and unfortunately, here's our guy. Here's our buddy. I've gotten nonverbal. Sorry, everyone. I realized I hadn't said anything for about 30 seconds. Horrible commentator. Alright, that's good news. Somewhat. The dragon's up. Dragon's Ripborn ready to go. But at least we got the key to the mines, so we can get on to the next part of Act 2. I have nothing to do for you. I don't know why I did that. Hey, what's going on?
Ah, I saw the signal fire alight upon the slopes, and you have brought the key. But tell me, did any of the dwarves from the expedition survive?
No, and unfortunately they all went in very different, colorful ways.
You have done enough, traveler. No need for you to risk yourself for our clan any longer.
Yeah, I want to help while I'm here, you know? I'm a good guy, I'm a nice guy. I'm a hero. I'm definitely not just in it for the EXP and loot, man.
As you approach the gate, then push it into the stone door. It should melt inside, and the door will open itself. Luck be with you.
It's very meticulous, it's a very interesting, specific method to getting the door open. I wonder if their assumption... I wonder if the dwarf's assumption is, well, no one's left-handed. So... no one would just naturally hold the key in their left hand. So no one would get in, even if they had the key. Imagine every dwarf is right-handed in this universe, and just blown away at the concept of a guy being left-handed naturally. Sorry, little agua. Little Wawa break. Yeah, let's get on in these mines. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's time. But I just remember... Yeah, I'm having a hard time remembering. I really thought the mines was the meat and potatoes of Act 2. So I'm wondering how we get through that to go through the woods at some point. I don't know. We're going to find out together today, actually. So these are all... oh, no. Oh, gosh. I don't know if you knew this. I'm a big rat advocate. I'm a big rat friend. So actually, I'm not stoked to have to do some rat killing right now. Some rat extermination. But funny enough, there's a video going on the channel in a few days where I do start the video by saying, ready for some rat extermination? So, really, you know, day in, day out, I'm just proving myself more and more to be a complete fraud of a man. Lying to the camera, saying whatever it wants to hear. We got some drow. These guys are wearing, like, the Oblivion Daedric armor. like, actually more like the Morrowind Daedric armor. Like, very deep black and red. I will say, in the scope of like a whole race being evil, because these are the drow. These are kind of your cave-dwelling, evil, dark elves. And allegedly, more or less, their entire race is just bad guys that do always want to do bad things and hurt people and take over. And you have very very rare exceptions to that rule, like Driss Duerden, who's is a playable character in this game. He's a good dark elf. That's weird. That's crazy. It definitely just seems like fantasy racism is just, you know, alive and well. It does seem to be a rather heavy-handed question to have to ask. It's like, well, what do you mean? I'm not saying in like some, I'm saying we have to attribute it too broadly to the real world. I don't get crazy with it that way. It's interesting to create world building wise like a race that's just like, oh no, it's like they're pretty evil. Central, hey, happy Sunday. Good to see you again. Hope your week went well. We're just talking about fantasy racism again. Continually a favorite topic of mine. Yeah, but it's good to see you. How did your week go? Yeah, yeah. I'm trying to become one of the top names on the platform of talking about fantasy racism and racism in fantasy games. Well, fine. I hope fine is I hope that's the good fine and not like when someone says they're fine and they're really not. All I have to say, I hope you have had a good week. No, the argument I was putting forward about fantasy racism, if you want to hear me out for a second, is that these guys I'm fighting right now, actually, are one of those races where they're just evil. Like, all the dark elves are evil bad guys, and if you have one that isn't, like, he's like good or neutral, like, that's very out of character for a dark elf. And that, to me, in a vacuum, seems crazy. Or I would feel like a bad person talking about dark elves if I was in that world, to be like, oh, they're all morally bankrupt, you know. I say we kill them all. No such thing as a good dark elf, you know. I don't know. That's what I've been thinking about today. Yeah, that to say, I think if I was like isekai'd, you know, like portaled into a world of, yeah, that's where I would be. I'd be the MLK of the Drow, I would say. Because if I was just transported into the world with the heart of the man that I have now, I would definitely be the bleeding heart. That'd be like, okay, we have to go into the mines and kill all the Drow. Because they're gonna come up and do bad things to the surface if we let them. I'd be like, no, they can't all be bad. Forgetting that they're NPCs in a video game, right? And that they are just coded to hurt you.
How can I help you?
I'd be the character in the movie that you get frustrated with because they're
looking for anything in particular?
Pacifism or virtue signaling. Oh, I don't want to use that word. That seems badder than it is. That's not what I was going for.
Never will you see
they think they're being
steel
benevolent,
as you will in
and they
this
make a
shop.
decision to save the bad guy, and then the bad guy ends up, like, killing everyone's favorite character. Yeah, what can I say? I'm just a really good guy.
We have more than enough.
But it would be hard. I think it would be hard, being a human being
feel the need to part with your gold,
in the
you've
world
come
that
to the
we're
right
in,
place,
the real
traveler.
world, to have to be sent into the realm of fantasy racism. I gotta say, I don't think I'm up to snuff, man. Some men are stronger than I am, and they might be able to handle it. But I'd be
How can I help you?
I'd be setting up a foundation or two for sure. just zip right back into it. Let's get right back to the mines. You think they do any crafting in these mines? I mean, that'd be awesome. Imagine mining and crafting. Yeah, I still can't get over how, it looks dead on, at least palette-wise, color palette, to the Daedric armor from Morrowind. Honestly, I'm just parallel thinking there. But, it's just such a staunch dark black and dark red that, like, almost doesn't even reflect that well. Like, it doesn't even look like a very realistic-looking color. That's a neat palette. I would say 2000s were a solid era for black and red. Like, black and red was like, that was cool. That's how you knew something was cool. I mean, it's when Daedric armor became a really big thing. Like, Prototype, that game was very black and red coded. Shadow the Hedgehog. Man, oh man, I mean, how much cooler could you get than that guy? Guy rides a motorcycle. Shoots people with guns in a children's platformer. He's voiced by Keanu Reeves for Stendar's sake. Oh, we gotta... You know, I'm such a... I don't know about you when you play RPGs, but I'm such a... I don't know how to put it. I'm an EXP, like, fiend. Like, if there's a fun environmental way in a game to, like, get rid of a group of monsters, like, in a room, and doing it that way will get me less experience than if I just walked in and did the deed myself. I will take it into my hands every single time. I'm such a scrub about making sure that I get every bit of EXP I can get in a certain area. Within reason. But I don't know if you're more laid, you or anyone else is more laid back than I am when it comes to just having fun in an RPG. I actually don't know how many gear shafts I need. I would hope that I only need the 2. But there's a third. We're gonna go over there. We gotta see what's going on here. And we're level 10? I think I called it. I think I'm right. Oh, I'm going for it again. Who am I kidding? And to celebrate, make some more armor class. A little more defense for our guy, for our hero. That was level 10. See, if you're a Dungeons & Dragons enjoyer, and you're looking at the rate in which we're leveling up, this game kind of uses the Dungeons & Dragons rule set, kind of. But it obviously peters off at a certain point to just more a satisfying experience of, yeah, it is just fun to level up like every hour or so, every half hour, you know? So the max level in Dark Alliance is actually 40. 40. Now, admittedly, getting up to 40 is quite a task. It's a very monumental task. There's no real purpose to doing so either. I'd say you're probably near level 20 in your first playthrough of the game. Maybe level 30 after a second or third playthrough. And get to level 40, frankly, it's a grind. Oh, I do need a third one. Well. Let's go find that third one then. But I'm always a big fan of that. I like when the maximum level cap is a bit higher than you would perceivably get through just a playthrough or two, because you don't know how much fun someone could have with this game. I find, and it kind of goes back to my thing about EXP being big for me, I find in an RPG that my enjoyment of the game actually, I do hit quite a wall when I've hit maximum level. Like, if I have no ways to level up just by doing the things I've been doing up to this point, it actually does become a lot less fun for me, because I definitely am a numbers go up guy, and it's very frustrating when the numbers stop going up. It's like that reward that you've gotten for doing the things that you've done in the game so far. That reward has kind of been taken from you. I know being maximum level is supposed to be its own reward, but I much prefer a game where getting the max level is not done before you've done all the content. You know? I think Fallout New Vegas is a pretty good example of that. The max level ends up being level 50, right, by the time you get all the extra content. But feasibly, getting level 50 is actually quite a task in Fallout New Vegas, I feel. Because there's a lot of different things to do. I get a little... Not completely. It won't get me out of playing a game, but I do get a little sad when I've reached max level or like maximum in certain attributes or what have you before I finish the game. I'm much more interested in reaching the end game with still some more to learn, some more things to achieve. Another great example of this is Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2. Specifically, and boy, I gotta play that game again soon. I love that game. I believe the max level in that game is also 40. And realistically, if you do absolutely every inch of XP gain you possibly could in that game, it's a shocker to reach level 30 even. It's just really, that's an impressive task. And levels still do a lot of good for you in that game. The more you go, it's definitely worth it to try to level up as much as you can. It's a very satisfying game in that, like, you will not max out. You will not reach max level in KOTOR 2 without some modifications to the game, or some exploits. And I think that makes for a better game because of it. I'll have to say, I've never reached max level in Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance. I think that'd be a really fun challenge. I'm definitely up for it. Not on a stream. Well, not to say that. I have to do something with it. I think it could be a lot of fun. We'll see. I'm also considering, I'll just say it out here, just to be honest. I know this seems like a really silly thing to say.
Looks important.
When, as of today, I have 107 subscribers, which thank you to anybody who's a subscriber at this point in the game. I'm really happy to see that anyone enjoys just what I've done. We've had some few people come in here today, some awesome guys come in and just say hi, banner for a little bit. Thank you for being here. Seriously, I'm glad you're enjoying what I'm putting down, and I hope we continue to both be around each other for a while, you know. But I've been thinking of starting a second channel and not necessarily having the two be connected. I'm not even sure if I'd plug the second channel, because it seems silly. It actually has turned me off from YouTubers when I see that they've started another channel seemingly so quickly. But here's my idea. my idea would be that another channel would be devoted to just the pure RPG stuff, and that what I've done here already would just be the nice banter, you know, the nice conversational twice a week videos, and reserve all of my annoying extended RPG content thoughts on another channel. That's my thinking. This is just a hobby to me, so I'm just thinking of fun ways of compartmentalizing it, where it'd be good for stuff that I don't think would belong on the main channel. That's exactly, I guess that's what I'm trying to get to, is that I think I've finally found, I've hit my stride with where I want this channel to go, you know? And I just really enjoy the cozy banter and storytelling, and I guess not a pretentious way, but like thought-provoking, you know? Fun topics that just make people think and want to chat and share a bit of their life or their thoughts on something. I like that, and I think that type of content abides itself to a certain audience that bantering about RPGs all the time necessarily wouldn't. And there's plenty of people, I'm one of them, you might be too, that do enjoy both those things. But like, I think the Oblivion remastered video is a great example, right? That was a really fun video to make. I'm glad I made it. I'm glad I posted it. The comments have been, the feedback's been very entertaining on that video. But to be honest, I feel like that video would have done better on not better. That's not what I care about. I think that video would have sat with me better if it had been on a different channel, because it's a very different vibe than what I've been doing already. That was a very long-winded answer to just agree with what you already said, etc. Is that yeah, I think I want a second channel for more of the RPG stuff, so I can kind of get out my feelings on that stuff and keep doing what I enjoy on this channel more, which is just the chatter, the banter, the cozier conversations. Man, I'm doing an exquisite job at almost just completely nuking myself on those Ignite things. And I warned myself that this would happen last Sunday. But, you know, what man doth not repeat their mistake? I don't know. I said it fancy as if it was like quoting a philosopher, but yeah, boom goes diamond, dude. I'd like to give that. I'd like to give this this chamber here 5 big booms. You know what I'm saying? All right, I've had enough of that. I think I got a recall. I gotta get more potions, man. I'm running myself dry out here.
Are you looking for anything in particular?
Yeah, if anyone in chat's ever been into an abandoned mine and accidentally blew it up with
Never will you see such fine
powder
steel
kegs,
as you will in this
feel
shop.
free to share your testimonial in the comments. We'll do an interview later. I don't know about you, but I'm very much an ideas guy. Like, I think of funny ideas. I gotta buy the health potions, actually. I think of a lot of funny ideas.
If you feel
that
the
I
need
would,
to part with your gold, you've come to the right place.
Yeah, I'm gonna start a Q&A stream with some retired miners.
How can I help you?
Funny enough, man, I don't live too far from West Virginia.
Are you looking for anything in particular?
Not
Never will you see such fine steel as you will
guy
in this
talks
shop.
so fast. He's just quick with it, man. I did live close to West Virginia, and in West Virginia, Appalachia's got a very, very thick mining community. You know, they got a lot of mining action going on there, and near Pittsburgh too. Even there's a lot of mining. Well, they've never met me. I'm just kidding. I don't think I could do that if I tried. It's definitely just one of those MacGuffin holdups. But I have so many goofy ideas that I'm like, that would be a funny video. I'd never make it. And I don't even know who I would tell to make it. But, like, it would be funny to interview, like, because guys like Soft White Underbelly or, like, LAWHF, I forget his real name, like Anthony Padilla, it made, like, at least in the more mainstream circle, like, they made it very popular to interview, like, very interesting people from interesting lifestyles. Obviously, that's not a new thing. That's ever since television has been around, it's been exciting to hear people get interviewed from different walks of life than you've ever been involved in. But I think it'd be funny to do like a fake interview series of like interview a guy who's never seen Toy Story 2 but has seen Toy Story 1 and 3. Or like interview a guy who went to a lake once and threw up in his friend's outhouse and never told anybody. Or interviewed someone that secretly has a crush on one of the PAs, and you have to the interviewer has to figure out who. I don't know, where do you go to share those ideas? I'd like to see those videos be made. I'm not gonna make them. I'm not a media mogul. I'm not a conglomerate. I'm just one guy having fun, ripping. Man, it's so much about business and money these days that, like, part of me feels like part of the machine, you know, and so I want to say, like, well, I don't even just want to give those ideas away, because, like, they'd be stealing my ideas, you know, and, you know, they'd probably pay a guy to think of those ideas. I feel like that's I don't know. I feel like I want to kind of reverse I want to be careful how I do it, but I think I want to reverse some of the rhetoric on that. I think the internet now has become so saturated with money making, you know? Like, if you're gonna do anything more than 10 hours a week on the internet, you better be making money off it, right? It's kind of the mindset. It's like hobbies on the internet are no good anymore. You might as well make it your job. Like most of social media 10 years ago was just people chatting with their friends. And now social media is like, at least people my age, I'm 30. It's a lot of like, hey, I'm plugging my business. I'm a life coach, or, you know, I sell Arbonne, or. So you're happy with it being a side gig? That's amen to that. I think that's the right way to look at it. So I hope you see what I mean. Where I couldn't commit to this full time. I haven't thought that far ahead. I'm much more of a man living in the now. But it's good to put a pin on that in the back of my head to know that doing this full time would be arduous, maybe. Can I ask you what would be your reservations about going full time, Centralo? What would be the straw that broke the camel's back as far as turning your content from where you are now, just happy to what would tip the scales? I guess I'm gonna ask. I think some people think, and I definitely think this way too, is that if you've worked, timing, see, I can relate to that. I might seem like a well put together man because I have like scheduled videos, but that's just because if I didn't have a routine, I would think I would be gone. I've just found that with any of my hobbies. 'Cause I'll go all in for like 2 weeks, and then as soon as I fumble once, I'll go, well, that was fun. Let's go do something else. But now it's like, well, no, let's make a video every Tuesday, every Thursday, do a little stream on Sunday, and we're gonna keep the ball rolling, right? Now what do you mean in regards to the indecisiveness? Just like you know, does that go with the procrastination? Like, it's hard to think of a video topic or exactly how you want to say it or edit it or what message you want to get across. And then you spend too much time thinking about that, and then all of a sudden it's 2 days before you said the video would be out and it's not done yet. Is that the kind of spiral that you mean? Or was that just a missed shot and you're referencing something else? I know it'd be hard to make having to treat it like a business. Those kind of decisions, I think I would become very indecisive with, or very careless with. I think it would be hard to treat this. Yeah. Okay. No. Yeah. So you have much more relaxed, or I guess the schedule is a non-schedule in a good way. Yeah, again, very new to the game, I am. But I could very much see how, especially when it's just a hobby, you know, or a side gig, it's hard to promise that a certain amount of videos or a certain video is going to be done at a certain time, when life just can very easily get in the way of that. And I would feel bad. I'd feel very bad if I promised something very cool to people and then it just didn't get done in time. I think that would eat away at me. Like I've done some creative projects in my days, you know, and I think most of the reason those got done were, I mean, almost more for my sake than the sake of anyone enjoying the art. Is that like, I said it would be done, and if I don't do it, like I'm gonna just turn inside of myself for not having gotten it done. Like I think it's about being, not making a liar out of myself, right? Making my yes mean yes. As a wise man once said. But I'd say that self-business has definitely taken over my age group. People younger, people older. You know, if you're in your 20s or 30s, you've definitely heard the be your own boss spiel. Like just get an internet job, you know, like make your own content or make your own products that you can sell to people, and then you can work on your own schedule, and it'll be hard, but it'd be so cool, you know. Fight back against the, I don't know, the financial machine. Stop being a number and be in charge of your own destiny. Cool concepts. Wait, what? Oh. I didn't mean to do that. I didn't mean to go down to level 3 so quick. At least we know where to go now. Yeah, it's very tantalizing. It's a very enticing way of living. But I think it stressed me out. You also don't have a lot of financial security with that, I reckon. I mean, I've heard the horror stories, you know, you could make $2,000 a month and make $800 the next. Well, I'll tell you what, in a commission-based job, that'd be a nightmare. You could get a performance review every week. And that's not even necessarily your fault, you know? Yeah, there's a lot of expectation that would just be really hard to live up to. Even just the practical financial expectations. So I guess it'd be good to have a dream stay a dream. Plus, I don't know about you or anyone else watching now or later, but I find myself in a fairly happy career path. I'm I'm an academic, so I will never make 6 figures in a year, but I'll probably never not have a job. You know, job security is pretty good in academia right now. At least it really depends on what your field is. I want to be fair when I say that. But you know, once I start my PhD next year, it's basically research fellowships and teaching gigs until I get bored. You know, it's very, very, very fortunate field to be in. And I will say that's kind of part of the streaming. Kind of part of why I'm doing this streaming. I have this notion of I'll link his videos in the description. He just passed away last year. His name was Dr. Michael Segru. He's just I watched his video lecture series on YouTube, and I was just completely blown away. I mean, that man can riff. Like, he's just unbelievably good at, with no notes, just going off about a topic for an hour. And not a lot of pauses. He doesn't repeat himself. And you can tell he's really thinking about what he said. Obviously, some of it has come, you know, some of his ideas have come before he got up on the podium. But yeah, it's an incredible lecturer. Yeah, I wish I could do that. It is so mind-blowing to see it in action, especially because that series he recorded it, I think it was in the 80s. He did like 25 different lectures within the span of like 2 weeks. So he basically went over the entire history of philosophy, like every different like major philosopher, all their greatest hits, their just ideas, their biography, and articulated their points and kind of who they were really well with no notes. And the guy's not even a philosopher. He's just a history professor. So this is like a side gig. He's like better than, I would say, most lecturers in academia today. And he was just doing it for fun. It was just a topic he really enjoyed. He liked it. It's not even a topic he taught. All that to say, that those speaking chops, man, I really, really admire them, and I feel like both academic-wise and doing, you know, making videos as a hobby and doing streams as a hobby, it's a very, it just seems like an incredible skill that I want to hone. I want to hone the I guess the banter, the banter ability. But more just the ability to be able to talk off your head for a really long time.
If you feel the need to part with your gold, you've come to the right place, traveler.
Well, I've got good news, pal. I do want to get rid of some of this gold. It's just oh so heavy in my inventory.
How can I help you?
I don't even know.
Are you looking for anything in particular?
That's a really good question. I think it would be time to get some new armor. Yeah, well, is that even much better?
Never will you see such fine steel as you will
honestly
in this
kind
shop.
of not. What makes the most sense? Does that make the most sense?
Swords, axes, hammers.
Kinda.
We have more than enough weapons for everyone.
I'd do that. Elven in this game, interesting enhancement. It makes the armor lighter. So we got, and that's pretty cool. But these, the chain, as you can see, it looks pretty identical to the, they just changed the texture out. They didn't swap the model. Kept it simple. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Like I said, this is a very low budget game.
If you feel the need to part with your
I feel
gold,
like you can't
you've come to the right place.
really even tell. I just think this is an incredibly well put together game for what they were offering.
How can I help you? Yeah, look.
Well, Central, I gotta ask if you're still here. You've been on the
Never will you see such fine steel as you.
you've been on the web for quite a few years. You've had a channel for a while. Would you say that like your writing or your speaking chops, you say they've improved a lot since you started? Like, do you feel like you're better at getting your thoughts together, or at least in writing form? You feel like you're better at conversating or speaking, or at least like reading your own lines? Solid answer. It's one of those, it's that like 10,000 hour thing for me, you know? I think, not College Humor, Crack.com did this is a totally, my chain of thinking has got a completely different direction. The 10-hour mastery, question, I think it's probably a solid guideline. I can't say I've made it that far in any notable skill, but to me, that can't seem like the end of it, you know? Seems like with any craft, there's always a lot more to be learned. There's always one more way that some guy's doing it that you haven't thought of before, that just kind of blows the lid off of it. I got another level. I'm still kind of aggro going down the. Yeah, we'll max out a crit. 25% crit chance. That ain't nothing to sneeze at. You know what I mean? 25% crit in a lot of games would break the game. But here it's just like kind of nice. Yeah, I think I found that speaking is my number one like coveted skill. Like not just being able to give like a talk, what to say, or even, you know, have good chatter on a video. But I think being able to speak well and conversate well, they're all different kind of sub-trees of the same, like, speechcraft tree, of being a good talker. That, to me, I think is the most, valuable. Because I really like people, man. Most of the time. You know, we've all had times where we don't like people. But overall, I think they're so interesting. I think people are so... great to get to know. All the best experiences I've had in my life have been with other people or at the hands of some other person. And so if I learn how to be better with people in a way that I can articulate my own thoughts and feelings better, I can recall things better that I think would be useful for someone else to know in a conversation. If I can retain more information about the people that I care about so that I can do more justice to them, I mean, all that to me kind of goes back to like being a good speaking, being a good pal, I guess. Having good banter. Obviously, you could have all those things and not really care about the person, but I think most walks of life you find yourself in, being able to interact with people really well and meaningfully, just kind of a win all around. There's very few jobs where it wouldn't help you out. Not that that's what it's about, but kind of the cherry on top. You know, I don't actually know what these guys are. Like this giant, it's like a beetle almost. It's like part beetle, part bear. I have to monster manual that guy. Uh-oh. 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 Hey, oh no, I'm a nice guy. I pay my taxes. I watched all the Family Guy. I don't know what you want. I don't know what the qualifier is of not getting Murphy is, but let me hit it. Made it. Actually, I probably gotta talk evil. Talking evil would impress the drow. I pushed someone down the stairs. I'm gonna die. This stupid bit is gonna kill me. Let me get out of here.
Swords, axes, hammers. We have more than enough weapons for everyone.
See, this game is definitely just a, it's pretty brutal, you know?
If you feel the need to part with your gold, you've come to the
But
right
not
place,
unachievable.
traveler.
I mean, this is one of those games you could beat as a kid, and it'd take you a while, but not a monument, not an impossible Sisyphean task. Also, significantly easier with a second person. This game was made to play co-op. Playing solo is definitely an added, unnecessary difficulty modifier. Kevin Michael Richardson. Oh, hold on, let me look this guy up really quickly. If I know who that guy is, Kevin Michael Richardson. Oh, no way. He's done a ton of stuff that I like. I've been all around this guy. He was in Clerks 2. Well, this guy rules. He was in How I Met Your Mother as Stan for one episode. I always gravitate on someone's like IMDb or filmography to like their most obscure role. He's a very recognizable voice. I'll have to listen to him later. And I'm sure if you're right, it'll be one of those things where I'll go, oh gosh, yeah, I've heard this guy a million times before. I admittedly am not as good with voice actors as I should be. I think it's proper to pay them their proper dues. But I'm not. I don't help the discussion any. I know like 4, and I know people don't like Troy Baker because he's allegedly played too many male leads. Or Nolan North was big in the 2010s as well. But admittedly, voice acting, I know that's a bit of a wheelhouse of yours. I do know Yuri Lowenthal. I do know that name. He's only because he's the Elder Scrolls. But he's been MC. He's been an MC quite a few times in anime, if I'm not mistaken.
Locked.
Locked? What? Where do I get the key? Did I like not beat up somebody I should have? Like I squeaked my way over to the gate before. Yeah, there's probably a guy over here I need to have him his soul part ways with his body before we let that guy out. Oh yeah, we got a boss.
So
okay.
you are the one who's come to die. You will pay dearly for the deaths
Well,
you've caused here today.
what can I say? I gotta say the hair. Her hair looks fantastic.
My attack?
That looks like
It was
she's
a
got like
watch.
layers going
The
on.
dwarven
Like she
mines were
has
to be ours.
a bun.
But we care
I'm putting
nothing
my
for the
hands up.
Sunset
You can't see them,
Mountains
obviously.
or your filthy surface cities. Those have been
There's a really
promised to
solid
others.
bun going on, and then
And then they
two
have them.
spiraling rows of hair coming out of that. That's. Oh, we'll
Soon
just.
choke on your own screams, intruder. And then
Choke
I
on
shall
your own
offer up your
screams.
body to Lolth.
Honestly, kind of a metal thing to throw out at somebody. Can't be mad at that. But we're gonna have to wipe the floor with the Dark Elf lady. Oh. I believe that's Magic Missile, in case you were wondering. Magic Missile, very classic Dungeons & Dragons. This game has some very unclassic Dungeons & Dragons spells. One of the bigger spells, Repulsion, not a very popular spell. Acid Arrow, I think it was more popular in advanced, like AD&D or 3rd edition days. And that was it. Completely wiped this lady. So sorry. Thanks for playing.
This looks important.
And we got the selfie. She ran out with a bang, though. Literally. It wasn't even banter. Half plate boots. That's an improvement. Half plate. This is one of my favorite armor sets in this game. Just a big fan of the way it looks. Just a big fan. Now we can finally let our guy go. Let my people go. I really can't. I forgot I'm not playing the dwarf. I can't say my people. I can't appropriate a culture like that, man.
Who are you?
Oh,
I am Brogan.
I said I would know the answer
Tell
to this
me.
question the last time
I was their
That's
eyes in the
strange.
Sunset Mountains. There was
But that to me
something
sounds like
stirring
Jim.
within the mountains.
Oh, I know who that
Organizing
is.
The ogres. Then the
That's
dragon
Pete,
appeared.
right? I'm not crazy. That's Pete, like Uncle Pete, like Jim Cummings. Or I don't know if Jim
I know
Cummings
little.
voices Pete.
But the fact that dark elves are working with them
I
is
might
a
be
cause
mixing
for
up some.
worry. Whatever leads this army, it must be powerful to have such troops as allies. I heard the Drow speak often of their plans. Their goal was to exterminate the dwarven settlement here in order to protect the movements of the gnolls and ogres in the mountains. In exchange for their help, they were promised the mines and all within it.
Who promised them that? They were going to cut up a deal like that?
Though I know
Yeah,
not why.
I think it.
They care nothing for the gnolls and ogres.
Oh, IMDb, here to save the day. Yeah, I saw it the same time as you, I think. It is Jim Cummings, man. Isn't that crazy? This was,
I heard the Drow speak of the gate,
2001, 2002?
but it led to the march.
I gotta say, our guy was on it, you know?
I had been searching for the source of the troubles in the region when the Drow struck the mines. If
Like-
my hunch proves true, then the gate to the marsh may lie within an ice cave within the mountains.
Like, I just gotta say, like, 2001, 2002, I gotta say, Jim Cummings, our man, had to have been doing very well for himself by then. He was already a very prolific voice actor, right? So to do a game with, I would reckon, less than $1 million budget, you just gotta be doing that for the love of the game. You know what I mean? Like the love of voice acting in general, the
I will
art.
mark it on your map. Finding your way to it may
Or
prove
he has
to
like
be
a really
trick,
serious gambling
but
problem.
you should be able to reach the cave from the mining camp.
He's got a good
The
agent.
cave itself is sealed with a great sheet of ice. Though I think the Drow priestess made mention of some
he's got
horns
someone
she
that...
used to enter the cave.
Because he's in a lot of very good games in the 2000s. He's got a lot of great roles. He really
If
just
these
was
gates
kind of
are
on
the work of the
the...
creature behind these attacks, then ye must
He was on the
travel to
curve a
marsh
lot
of
quicker than
Jalibur
some
and
other
find
voice
out the
actors, I
nature
would
of this
say.
threat.
Or at least from my perspective. You'd know more about this than I do. So if I waffle, feel free to just
Let us
obliterate
squander
me.
no more time talking of it. Find the gate and take
But
the battle to the beast.
I feel like there was
that's
probably a
stalking us.
hesitation. I don't know how to put it, but voice acting in animation or other media certainly looked a lot different than voice acting in video games. And I think it's only caught up in the past 10 years, where there's a lot more mingling these days between the art forms, the media forms. Well, we did all that. Had ourselves on the back. Slayed the unfortunately dressed drow elf lady.
How can I help you?
Or fortunately
Are you
fortunately
looking for
dressed.
anything in particular?
Depending on your persuasion. Bring strength +2. I think that's a good move. I think we do take that ring.
Never will you see such fine steel as you will in this shop.
Never ever. That's right, guys. We will never see a Mythal Centaur +2.
I was
rest of our
worried
lives.
for you. What news of the mines?
You got 'em back, buddy.
Us this day.
We wrangled them
You
for
have
you.
reversed our fortunes, and we shall never forget it. Have this, and with it, know you have the thanks of the Brunger clan as well.
The Brunger. I was as soon as I saw that word on screen, I said, I need to know how he pronounces that. I'm perpetually being obliterated for reading words that I've never heard said before.
Brogan's alive! Thrice blessed are we! An ice cave, eh? I've heard something of it from Brogan before, but...
So we gotta go find another ice cave. And I've been through a few ice caves. I've been through quite a few ice caves already. Oh, but we're just going this way. That's so convenient. Great news. Do I just want to keep leveling up strength? I mean, I kind of do. Oh, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. We're just going to keep cutting through. That's the way to go. I want more speed, please. I want some more health regen. Can't beat. Let's go into part 2. Part 2? Part 3? Part 3 of Act 2? Let's get very confusing with it. I wager this is the final part of... it's nice to see that I picked the weapon speed spec, and it actually, at least to me, has a significant impact on the attack speed going on here. We're kind of cutting through. That's why I much prefer one-handed in this game. It's really easy to find a good weapon that hits hard. Unless you're just cutting through them fast. Hard to beat. Plus, I said earlier, as a RuneScape guy, something about holding a scimitar. Especially one that does look exactly like the classic scimitar. That good look. It's hard to beat. Scimitars are a good look, man. these are gnolls, I believe. G-N-O-L-L. I've said it before, but I think they did a really good job of going through the monsters manual in this one. Instead of, we started with the goblins and rats, sure, but gnolls, ogres, drow. We're coming up on a dragon later, and then honestly, it just gets weirder from there. Like lizard men, tribes folk, and a lot of automatons, little robots. I guess you could, Dungeon Dragons equivalent of robots in the 4th act. Ooh, spoiler there. Hey, Raw Scott fans in the house would be really happy to see this this development here, which is Ross. He's like Freeman's Mind game dungeon. One of his sayings that always rings through my head is he really loves a game where the enemies stay dead. He always says it. He's like, I want an enemy that stays dead. And this game has got you covered. You have to replay the game to go through an area with enemies again. They are one and done. Which I think is perfect for the size that this game is. It's wow, okay. It's very deceptive tree space there. my guy's too built, too sturdy to get through, I guess. Yeah, something nice about playing like a nice short, 12-hour romp, where you get to just see the product of your carnage at the end. You've ripped through 3 whole regions of a world, and when you're walking back through it, well, you get what you paid for. I think overall I prefer in RPGs a respawn mechanic, because I am a very grindy guy. I have a video on that coming in a few days. I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that. Just playing grindy video games, especially if you played them when you were younger. I think it just does something to you. It sets you up for that numbers go up dopamine rush. Wow. Now, a little trivia there. That soundbite he just played was the same goblin soundbite from Oblivion, the original Oblivion. Matter of fact, maybe we'll get this guy to do the same sound, and you'll know what I'm talking about. Yep, that sound, that cry of death is a goblin pain sound in Oblivion. Although, to be fair, to call it Oblivion is not really fair. It's more like Oblivion used some very, I'll say generic, but like easily accessed, sound bites for a lot of their stuff. You'll hear the gate opening sound, the grate opening sound. A lot of other games, like a lot of the minor sound effects, were pretty common in other games at the time. But Oblivion being the biggest of them usually gets the credit, or at least the gravitating. Hey, that's the sound from that game. I think there's another enemy in the game too that had. Do we have to do something here? Oh, I don't have to do anything. I've already done the thing I need to do. So this is the ice cave. Again, I'm under the belief that the Ice Dragon is the Act 2 final boss. We might very well be at the end of Act 2, or at least coming into it. And again, I think we have just really good environmental design here. I really, really like the look of the Ice Cave. It's so simple, but they did a really good job with the lighting here, too, in engine. So, just color scheme wise, I just think it looks fantastic. And we have a fun little fact here. This helmet is better than that one. But yeah, more cohesive look, better stats. You know, I'll go more cohesive. That other helmet sells for more anyway. All about the numbers I am. Going a mile a minute on the numbers. I think I would have been a good accountant. I had no friends in accounting. And like family members of friends who do accounting. And hearing them talk about it, there is something about it that's very alluring to me. The numbers and spreadsheets. I know that probably sounds awful. Awful. To anyone that's not interested in that at all. I think what would terrify me is the people aspect. Like if I did mess up a number, or I did ruin something for someone, like I'm messing with someone's money, you know? That would be by and large for me the most terrifying aspect of the job. But honestly, money management in video games is probably my favorite part. I really, really love like making money in a video game. And I'm not much of a hustler in real life, you know? But something about that number go up because it feels more calculated. And here, oh no, hold on, this is not this is our sub boss. I don't know, part 3 of Act 2 sub boss. These little stealthy boys. And if you stay in the water, you can actually see them come up on you. Yeah. Fantastic use of this game's like water physics engine. A very delightful show not tell. Yeah, we got one more. Come on. Yeah. And we got 4 of them. I'll keep reiterating things until I die, but because I mentioned this last week, I think. But this engine, this is the Frostbite engine, I think. Man, I would love to get my hands on this engine, or even just to give it to the right person. They made this game. They made Dark Alliance 2. They made a Fallout game, Fallout Brotherhood of Steel, or Fallout Extreme Brotherhood of Steel. Not a very liked game, admittedly. But then Champions of Norath was also made on this engine. And those 4 games, and really you could say 3, but to get rid of the Fallout game. But those 3 games are incredible for what they offer you. They're all made on a very tight, specific engine. This engine right here. And I'd play a new game on this engine today, you know? I don't know if it was hard to program for, or if the money dried up. That's why they stopped making games on this engine. But I really love the simplicity of it. And they expand on it a lot. This is the first game on the engine. Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance 2 would come out next. I think Champions of Norath was after that, even. Champions of Norath being an EverQuest game, licensed to Black Isle, but using this engine here. So I think that's why. Jeez, can't speak. That's people's most favorite game because I think it's the most fleshed out. They had the most time with the engine and what have you at that point. But yeah, I'd love to see more games on this engine, man. Engines and game development are just kind of a mess, you know? Seems like most indie developers are generally stuck with the same handful, pick of 4 or 5. It's always really cool when a developer goes out of their way to make a new engine for their game or for a line of games. I don't know why. It's always very entertaining to me to see that a game isn't just using Unreal or isn't just using Unity. I obviously don't care at the end of the day, but it's cool when a studio has time to make their own engine and they know that they'll make use of it well. Just like Black Isle did here with these games in the 2000s. I don't know what the takeaway from that banter is. Make a game engine? That sounds awful. Probably. I mean, go ahead if you already were going to, but not an easy place to be. It's a very monumental task. Spoken by a guy who knows just enough about it to say, yeah, that sounds horrendous, but very admirable. If that's something you want to do. Now, I've never met any wolves that can breathe blasts of frost out their mouths. And I gotta say, I hope I never do. Because I think even like in a zoo, if you wouldn't, they wouldn't be safe. And there's a whole ethical discussion about zoos. Oh, hey guys, hey everybody, some real frost giants. Wow, that guy just tore me up with one hit. We're gonna chill, we're gonna chill. Oh gosh, alright. And look at where I am again. Well,
Swords,
what do we have here?
Axes, hammers, we have more than enough weapons for everyone.
Silly little Patrick, back at it again.
If you feel the need to part with your gold, you've come to the right place, Trav.
But at least I'm in the right place. Thanks, Brannock. Definitely didn't go back just to check if I had your name right. And we're back at it. We got one! We got one! You see him just obliterate half of my health bar in one hit? That one, I did better that time. Is this a critical hit? I don't know. Fun fact, I don't know if there's... I don't want to say any more of those guys. There's not many more of those guys left. I think that's what... I keep going back to the NPC thing, but that's what I'm saying. It's cool, like... There's less than 10 of those guys in the game. That's a lot of model work and animation work to do for a character that won't be used a lot, you know? But they wanted variety, you know? Oh! Well, gamers, look at what we've wrought. And that's my first real death? I jumped off the platform for funsies last week, but I'd like to say that it's yeah, these guys don't mess around. And we got him. Alright. Good news. Good news. He's not washed. He found his way back. And they drop a good amount of loot. We got a scale helmet +2. Très chic. We're starting to look like a smorgasbord of equipment here. You know, it can't all be about the fashion. You gotta be about saving lives at some point. This game is a joy. Some very delightful memories as a young lad with my brother, my older brother, playing through this campaign co-op, and we did Dark Alliance 2 as well, of course. We got more of these. You know, this game is a bit old for that, but I do wish there was a codex or monster manual. Because I still to this day don't know what some of these creatures are. I'd have to actually go to like the 3rd edition monster manual and find that out. But I was the younger brother, so I got stuck with playing the character I didn't want to play because my brother wanted to play the cool character. So I never got to play as the archer when I was a kid. I got to play as a dwarf. Nothing wrong with the dwarf. He's a better fighter, melee fighter. But I just thought the other guy was cool. And then when we unlocked Drist, you know, like he's the cool dual wielding dark elf guy, the only guy in this game that can hold 2 weapons at once. My brother, obviously, that was his character after that, so I didn't get to play the cool dark elf until I was nary an adult. I think I was a teenager and I booted the game up once on my PlayStation 2, and I just played it to get to play the character I'd always wanted to play. And Dark Alliance 2, it'd be a while before I stream that one, unfortunately. But that game's pretty great. I mean, it's a significant upgrade to this game in every way. But the dwarf character, he's a dwarf rogue. First of all, commendable that they went that route instead of just like dwarf fighter again. It's very generic fantasy. Big fan of a dwarf rogue, you know. But he stinks. He's the worst character in the game by far. There's a very noticeable quality difference between playing him and playing other characters. Because they got more serious in the second game about certain characters can equip certain items and other classes can't, kind of deal. Because that game you have 5 characters and you can get up to 7, I believe. I don't think there's more than the 2 secret characters. And so they got a little more free-handed with locking certain characters out of equipment and letting other characters have equipment other classes couldn't. All well and good. But the rogue ends up getting stuck with the worst deal. He just can't use like most of the weapons, or like you know, use the range weapons, which, like I said before, are just not nearly as fun. Although in the second game they got rid of ammo, and they gave you a tracer. You can track what direction your arrows are going, so at least you can hit the enemy every time instead of eyeballing it. The second game is a lot more frustrating if you play the dwarf rogue, which is naturally who I got stuck with, because we thought rogue meant like, I think at that point we had played Neverwinter Nights and maybe Morrowind and Knights of the Old Republic, so when we heard rogue we thought, oh, this guy's gonna need to unlock doors, so we knew one of us had to play the rogue to be able to unlock all the doors. But frankly, it's not even a mechanic in Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance 1 or 2. So I didn't even have to play the dwarf rogue. I got stuck with it anyway. But that's how it is being little bro, being player 2. I hear another giant. Are you the one that got me earlier? Jeez. That's an impressive kick. And you know what? Accurate. Can't be too mad, right? Like, that's what would happen. No matter how armored up you might be, that is just what would happen if you got smashed on by a freaking, like, 15-foot tall, 1,000-pound beast. Oh. Easy peasy. I reckon we're coming up on the final boss here. I'm wondering if I should circle back when I'm clear of this map and see if I can get a better weapon. We have a pretty good weapon. We have one of the best weapons in the second act, I think. But it would be nice to see if we couldn't get an even better one. Oh. Uh-oh, sorry. Spider alert. Fortunately, this game is pretty happy to throw spiders around. And these guys hit pretty quick, so there's not even a kind of a winning moment to get in there. I've almost maxed out attack speed, and these guys are still getting in before me. Yeah, definitely a game that's not afraid to light you up with poison damage, you know what I'm saying? Which is a shame, because I'd say most RPGs at least have a cure poison or a, you know, some remedy to poison, but you're kind of just dealt X amount of damage over time if you get hit with poison in this game. No way around it, unfortunately. So it's good health eater. You can poison as well, obviously. There's spells and enchantments. I don't think there's enchantments in the first game. Enchanted weapons that give you poison, but in the second game you can poison enemies to your heart's content. And I'm counting 6 right now. I'm gonna have a tally at the end here in my head. Oh, well, there's the end. So that was 6. 6 of those frost giant guys. And again, I just gotta say I'm impressed by that. I'm impressed that there's, they made a whole model and NPC for a guy that's not showing up again. Because I think right here we got our final boss. Yep. Alright. So, absolutely no read on how we're going to do in this fight. The frost giants have definitely thrown me for a loop balance-wise. Not in a bad way. Perfectly reasonable enemies. But I don't know if we're going to just smoke this fight or if we're going to get handed to it. How we're doing damage-wise? Pretty good. Not so bad. Oh no. I think we just gotta... Alright, we just went through all our potions right now. We're gonna have to hope for the best. Our best is not good enough. We are going to die here. I'll try to be good and get good at it, but unfortunately, there's a lot of nonsense going on in the scene right now. So we do have our health regen to rely on. But I gotta be frank, I don't know if I want to do that to myself or you, dear viewer. Run around for a second here, just so I can be able to eat a hit if I get in close. That's what I want to do. Alright. Alright, that's good. When he does his breath cone, that's when we gotta get in there. Oh, 1-4. Nope, too early. Too early. Yeah, I want him on that animation. Well, I done whipped myself. Where does that leave us? That leaves us a few monsters behind. I think we just gotta clear... Is it just this spot? Yep. Alright, that ain't too bad, guys. Right. Okay, here's the deal. We know that guy's coming. We know that guy's on us. I'm gonna go. We're gonna recall from here. Let's save. We'll save after we do all this stuff.
How can I help you?
How can you help me? Great question. I need a really cool weapon. that will really hurt a dragon. You got any of those? You might. Let's go to the end of the list here.
Are you looking for anything in particular?
Funny enough, I don't know if those are actually
will
better.
You see such fine steel as you will in this shop.
I don't think those are actually better. I might as well get the best. What's the last piece that I'm missing here? Helmet, gloves, boots. Oh, we're good. So it looks like we do pretty much have the best equipment that we could have at this point in the game.
If you feel the need to part with your gold,
RNG
you come
notwithstanding,
to the right place,
you know?
traveler.
So
How can I help you?
I think we just gotta go forward. Let's just
Are you looking for anything in particular?
buy a bunch of potions. And let's get back to it. Now that I've done all that prep work, realistically, we're just gonna first try this dragon. Or second try. First, second try. But, you know, if prep work's good enough for Batman, it's good enough for me playing a video game. That's real life. That's Batman's real life he's got to prepare for. I'm just a little guy having fun on a Sunday afternoon with my friends. Hello, hello, Syraxis? Was that? His name is Syraxis. We've officially reached the Dungeons and Dragons section of Dungeons and Dragons. So let's make a goof this time. So it seems the best thing. That pain sound, that strikes me as Jim Cummings as well. Wow, I blew that phase. Okay. That's what I want him. I want him there. I'll be honest, now that I've got so many potions, I think I'm just gonna go for it. Yeah, we're doing pretty good. We've done it. We've done it. Can I get a good rotator on him? Ew. Again, this isn't... I wouldn't consider this a really gory game. Unless you've been paying attention to the models, the NPC models. But, yeah, they are not afraid to, cut up the bad guys. You saw at the beginning of the stream or VOD, it's pretty intense. It gets pretty intense. We've done it. We've only gone and done it. Another winner in the books. And I'm going to do the same thing that I did last act, which is I just want to clean house. I'm going to level up. I'm going to go for more carry weight. That seems like a good win to go into Act 3 with. More dodge. Also seems like a good idea. And I reckon we save those last 3 points for another better day. And let's see what equipment we've got. We've got full plate gloves. That's insane. That's awesome. That's frankly... I mean, that's our best in slot for a long time, guys. That's probably... That might... I'll make the bet right now. We might go through all of Act 3 and keep those gloves. That's a heck of a pull. So let's use recall. Oh, I can't recall from here. Fair enough. Boss Arena. I got the Ice Cave again. Recall. Sell. Consider Ponder Bind. Oh, magical force blocks the path. I didn't expect this. See, in Act 1, they let you go back and hang out for a minute. But I guess there's probably a good story reason I can't do that. We gotta go ahead. So... I guess we're technically welcome to Act 3. But we're not doing Act 3 today. No. We will pick up on Act 3. And here we are. That's actually fantastic. So, we're ending Act 2. We made it all the way through. Fought a big, scary dragon. We got a good amount of stuff to slog through. Wherever this is. Where the heck are we? What are we doing next? Who's to say? Yeah, I want to thank everyone who came in and stayed and said hi. Greatly appreciative of you being here. Anyone listening on the VOD later, I see you. I know you. You're just as important. I'm glad you're here. Yeah, big thanks to anybody for coming and saying hi and conversating and chatting with me on a good old Sunday. That's it for me today. I'll be back again next Sunday around the same time, that like right before 3 p.m. Eastern Time. And we'll do Act 3 of Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance. So I'm going to save again for the 12th time to be sure. But I'm out of here. Have a lovely rest of your Sunday, everybody.